What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Thursday, October 6th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all very much. Hope that you're having a great week so far, and hope that your day's off to a good start, or your night, or whenever you're watching this video. Let's take a look at Thursday's astrology. Well, we're going to see that moon come into Pisces. We'll meet with Juno. There's a lot of relationship stuff getting brought up. Just overall, it's Libra season. Venus is here in Libra. Sun, Venus. There's just a lot of relating, right? So we're trying to figure out the balance of that. That's just where we're at. I don't know how much we need to talk about it, but these are aspects that are prominent right now. But I will say that, yesterday dealing with Moon Saturn, Moon square Uranus, we've been going through a much more colder, detached emotional place, and that moon coming into Pisces definitely gets us more into the really sensitive parts of our emotions. I think we can start really feeling things again, so it can kind of feel like, I think it can feel one or two ways, like either the emotional numbness is coming off, or we're just really open and feeling more than before. Not that a moon in Aquarius doesn't feel, but yeah, there's a lot more sensitivity to emotion with Pisces, of course. Mutable water. So we're seeing, the fluctuation, and as the tides come in and out here with our emotional life, our dreams, even having Mercury moving off that opposition, which is now more than 2 degrees. So Mercury's a small planet. We are starting to see more clearly, which is good. But this moon coming into Pisces definitely kind of puts us right back into wherever we are. I don't know, it can kind of feel, it's very void off course. There's not any major aspects with the moon. It will quincunx Venus, but this moon's not making a ton of aspects. It'll quincunx Black Moon Lilith in Leo. But again, there's not I don't know. It's really not much to speak of, to be honest. There's just a flow. There's sort of a let go. I feel like we are in this place where we want to definitely initiate and start things, but today's definitely more wide open to kind of see what's going to show up. What's more interesting to me, because I've talked about all this stuff so much, right? Like Mars square Neptune, I could say the same thing I say every day, or Saturn square Uranus. These things aren't changing for a long time, right? Pluto is getting ready to station. It'll station one more second. I believe it's 2606 that it'll station and go direct, which will be on the 8th, which is Saturday, which is a huge deal. But I'm going to talk more about that on the weekend horoscope and getting into this full moon in Aries. There's more stuff we'll talk about. But, for this Thursday, the most interesting thing to me is all of these quintiles and biquintiles, all these blue lines that you see on this chart. There's just quintiles, biquintiles everywhere you look. It's kind of crazy, right? So what are quintiles and biquintiles? Quintiles are 72 degrees with a 2-degree orb tight. And biquintiles are 144 degrees. And they make, the quintiles make a 5-pointed star, if you will. So the Star of David. Actually, that's not the Star of David, but a 5-point star, which is the star of magic, right? So there's a lot of alchemy, there's a lot of magic, there's a lot of divine presence that's available to everybody all the time, but I think especially maybe prevalent on a day like this. The moon is actually quintile over to the North Node, and they're both making biquintiles to Venus, which I think is very interesting, right? Because Venus disposits that North Node, and it's dignified here in Libra. And it's just so much of this is this very the universe is speaking to you. So I don't know how else to put this, especially with the moon in Pisces. You have to really tap into your sensitivities, your emotions, what you're feeling, what you're intuiting, and use that towards your values and the groundedness and what you want to build and what is real in your life, and really find that confidence right now to go after whatever it is with anything we're relating to in life to get that. And I think that it's just very present there. And the moon's pretty void off course, right? So it's like, it's an interesting day. I don't feel like we're going to be able to push for much. And it is sun opposite Uranus times. That'll be exact on tomorrow, but that sun is 13 degrees. Uranus is 14 degrees, Aries here. So there is definitely a lot of self-confidence work, I would say, that's very important to find in yourself right now, to really let how you're feeling dictate what you're going to make happen during your day to day, and to like really get back to yourself and to not put yourself second. And that's going to be the hard part, is we're going to, for whatever reason, want to put ourselves second to something else because the moon's here in Pisces, Neptune's here, Neptune square Mars. I mean, we can be way over compassionate. And it's not that compassion's ever a bad thing. Like, I'm not trying to put down being compassionate. But when it's putting our own values and our own needs and what's going to make our life better as individuals at risk, it's like, okay, we actually have to get a backbone here and kind of stand up for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So there's a divine presence that's saying, please listen to what's coming through so that you can flow your life into something better. We can always make our life more valuable, even if it's just the way we think about ourselves, the way we feel about ourselves, the way we look at ourselves in the mirror. Like, we can look at all these different things better about ourselves more confidently. And I think that that's where beauty and alignment is going to be found too. Maybe it's not just about the projection onto someone else or something outside of ourselves, but really getting back to ourselves, especially with Chiron and Aries. We're all having some identity, I don't want to say crisis, but like we're all in some ways here like trying to figure out who the fuck we are, you know? Like, and Mars squared Neptune, and it's like, it changes. Like, you know, just because we were one way yesterday doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly the person we're meant to be the following day. So who are you meant to be today? Trust your instincts, trust your intuition, trust what you need to do to flow into life that's more valuable. And I think that that's where you can find a lot of value out of the chart. And that's like the most unique thing that's going on, is those biquintiles and quintiles when I look at the chart, just because like, wow, that's a lot of them. They're just everywhere, you know. And there's a golden yod to Venus. So, you know, we're all having Venus issues right now, and the universe is trying to show us how to work on these in a much more beautiful, compassionate for ourselves and others manner, but not like put ourselves second also, which we can want to do or not know how to define. And sun's opposite Chiron, and we're feeling our vulnerabilities or our weaknesses, and it's not a time to be weak. So it's like really find that divine strength and that warrior, you know, essence within each and every one of us. Because even the moon and Jupiter will be in semi-sextile, 30 degrees, not a major aspect, but, you know, emotionally feeling strong and believing in ourselves here with Jupiter in Aries is very important. We have so much wisdom. We just have to, you know, trust our feelings and think highly and believe highly of ourselves. And it'll align things much, much quicker, much, much better, much, much more fluently, right? And Pluto's getting ready to stop. You know, it's Pluto goes slow no matter what, and it is basically stationed for the next couple days until it goes direct on Saturday. And Pluto it knows for sure it's coming into Aquarius for the first time in 248 years. So we are in a big transformative time, dealing with a lot of Capricorn, which is society, what governs us, how we govern ourselves, mission stuff, destiny, jobs, careers, dedication, grit, time. Time's already been blown up, but it's blowing up even more. And Aquarius is all these different waves of timelines like stacked on top of each other. And we're approaching that, right? March 23rd, 2022, or 2023, sorry, is when Pluto will enter Aquarius and Mars will actually finish its stay in Gemini and come into Cancer. So wow, like just thinking about this Pluto coming direct is quite a big deal in our lives, and I feel like we're going to start to feel it maybe now, but especially throughout this month, as these sort of bigger soul desires start to come out about what we all really came here for as individuals and to believe in ourselves. I'll talk more about that, of course, when the time comes, but it's worth thinking about. Otherwise, I feel like I've just talked about all this stuff. It's, we've been sitting here with Mercury stationed, all these retrograde planets. Everything's moving pretty slow, right? Minus Venus, which is with the sun and just pacing with the sun. There's not a ton of... It's very interesting astrology. It's potent, but you kind of hear me day in and day out say the same thing. That was the most interesting thing that I could channel, or when I just pulled up the chart, give you, was there's something very, especially, and it makes, a lot of sense having the moon come into Pisces. There is some chaos in this world, but there's something about the chaos and the feelings that we're having, and maybe it's the chaos within us, because Pisces is kind of chaotic, I'll be honest, right? But it's beautiful and it's divine, and it is making change, and it is kind of finding that flow, learning to really surrendering to how you're truly feeling and not putting your feelings second. Hope you have a great Thursday. Definitely, I feel like Thursday's a vibe. It's a vibe shift. It's gonna feel different coming into this weekend and the full moon. This one's feeling interesting. I can already feel it now. There's something different is in the mix for us, which could be a beautiful thing. But yeah, I don't know. That Pisces moon just, after where it's been, and okay, this thing's different. Maybe not. We'll see. Two of Wands. Looking out at the beautiful options that you can create today. Maybe using your imagination to actually make a choice and to see what you can create in the palm of your hands, what you can put effort and energy into. I feel like there is something here too where it's just put your energy into something that you really you'd actually want to physically hold actually in some way too. The Chariot reversed. Maybe we're feeling like we can't, push it today. It's kind of interesting. Maybe there's a divine pull that's saying chill out. I don't know. I get convoluted messages from the astrology. Part of it is do something, and the other part of it's chill out. And then the Chariot reverse, I could tell you, you're scared to move forward. I don't know. This one's going to be different for everybody because I feel like it's so individuated and personal to people, of how they're truly feeling. Some people are going to feel like they need to actually take that next step to get what they want. And other people have probably been grinding so hard that they need to chill out and figure out what they have right in front of them and start making that great. Three of Cups in reverse. Interesting card. We want to be around people that make us feel good emotions. I think it's very clear if people are making you feel some type of way that is not beneficial or making you feel less than or lack. Pretty obvious, they're not part of, any kind of group you probably really want to be associated with. People in your life should be uplifting you and making you feel good right now. And if they're not, I don't know. Then we're getting put in questions of are you actually afraid to leave a situation with somebody and move into a better place that is being more guided from a very divine place too? Remember, the Chariot is the seventh card. in the major arcana. There's choices today that I think intuitively and through the heart can be made for really positive emotional connection. And if we're not getting that, there's definitely other things that are showing us where we need to go that way, or where we need to kind of get back to ourselves too. I also feel like we could be putting too much emphasis on people and what other people are feeling, and maybe not enough on where we need to take our emotions and go forward as well. Love you all very much. Hope you have a beautiful Thursday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.